we're going to talk about search and SERPs. If you have questions, just write them in the comments and we'll get to them at the end. This is our very first training and my favorite class because I don't think others teach this initially. It all starts on the search engine results pages. Today is just about learning some fundamentals, search and SERPs. This is our first class. After the class, we're going to have about a half-hour Q&A. We're also going to go into the search engine results pages and take a look around. There are a couple tasks that we're going to practice next week that are not in this slide deck. Know that the beginning of it all starts on the search engine when you start typing into Google. Okay, every class we're going to meet, there's a lot of language you're going to learn. And we are all SEO people already. You might not think that or know that, but every day you use Google. You already know what you're doing because you can see your own actions. We're going to go over some key terms every week. Search speak. We all know what a search engine is, right? It's the tool we use to find and interact with content available on the internet. And most of us use Chrome. For these classes, we are going to be using Chrome because it's got a lot of extensions that we use for SEO, which makes SEO way more fun. SEM. When I started working online, SEM, the term gets confusing because some people associate the search engine marketing, the actually SEM, with paid ads. Search engine marketing is actually all of what happens on Google or a search engine, right? It's the ads plus the SEO, and sometimes search engine marketing is interchanged with paid marketing. Now, that could be because some people consider SEO a paid service and Google Ads a paid service, right? Then we have search engine optimization, sometimes called natural listing, sometimes called SEO, sometimes called organic. It is basically what we used when we're doing SEO. It's sites appear in the index because of what we've typed in. What shows up is affected by the algorithm, which we'll get into next. We're going to go into what Google does a little bit later on and why. An algorithm is like a set of rules where we rank websites, and that's why people do things like keyword research. SEOs generally try to work with the algorithm to get their clients to show up at the top of Google, because if you hit the top 3 results in Google, it can change a business. Algorithms are things that all search engines, including all social media, they put in place to either battle bad players or to create their secret sauce. I don't know if you've ever tried to search on Facebook, but it's not as good as searching on Google, especially Messenger. How search works. How does it work? It works, you type something into Google, right? And you get results. Now, what happens in this is Google has a job to play. You would not use Google if Google didn't bring you the best results to your fingertips. It's why Ask Jeeves is dead. If you don't know what, there were a lot of other search engines and Google won out because Google provided the best results. That's Google's job. Google makes most of its money from Google Ads, but the listings or index that you're seeing, it's Google's job to bring you the best results to your fingertips in the shortest amount of time. Now, how does it do that? It uses an algorithm and ranking system to grade those websites. Now, the algorithms are a big deal because they change frequently and over time. And you can be in position one day and go to position 900 the next if you're doing bad things. On the search engine results pages called SERPs, you're going to see lots of different things. And we're going to go into snippets and search intents. We're going to talk about all these things a little bit more in detail as we go through today. Owned or rented. Paid ads are owned or rented, and that's PPC, Google Ads, right? That's rented. It's a different algorithm. Paid ads are based on an auction system. SEO is investing for the long term. One of the hardest things about SEO is what you do today will benefit you probably about a year to 18 months from now if you're tracking what you're doing and you're seeing what you're doing. The idea of SEO is to do things, track it, review it, see if it's working, and then also take account of the algorithms, which we're going to go into some algorithms today, which are really fun because something new happened. How does Google figure out which results to show? Before you even type into Google, they know who you are, basically, what you searched before, and all that comes into account. When we go to a website and it's already loaded up, like we've visited a couple times, notice how it's faster? And that's because your browser saved all the images, right? Google saves all this information about us to give us the best results. When we go and search for our business online and we're doing it from our work computer or our home computer, and this is a computer we use all the time, or our phone, then Google's trying to give us the best results for us. Google's trying to figure out what we want. And this is why it becomes challenging to teach other business owners, hey, when you search for yourself on Google, you need to account for these things to know where you're showing up. It is quite difficult and challenging to show people where they're showing up on Google, but it's our job as SEOs to educate and give people the right tools. What you're seeing on Google when you search and you get results is an index of the web, of all the information. It's like a huge filing cabinet. And Google's commitment. We really want to talk about this because this is based on the algorithms. We know that Google's job is to get us the best information to our fingertips in the shortest amount of time. But what you don't see is that, and I usually equate this to athletes in the Olympics. And it may be not the best analogy, but it's the best one that works. In the Olympics, there are people that use different ways to become the best. And over time, judges and people running it will do tests that they don't get to use those stimulants or whatever, they can be number one. Google's doing the same thing. There are a lot of bad players because if you do get into the top positions, it can change your business. Like the blog post I wrote that ranked in the first 3 spots actually doubled my traffic. Now, if I was an e-commerce site and I doubled my traffic, I'd probably increase my sales. Google's commitment is to make sure that we get the best results and all those bad players don't get to play. And that's one of the reasons we have algorithm updates, because of bad players. Different things happen, and we'll go through some algorithms so you can see all the different things that, people have worked through. How search works. Algorithms are used to generate search results, right? Algorithm updates happen all the time. There was just one 2 days ago called PALM, P-A-L-M. And I actually grabbed some information about that because that's probably going to change what and how the search engine works. There's regular algorithm updates. The things we want to pay attention to online are there are different types of queries. There are different intent behind queries. Google is always testing. You'll see one thing one day and another thing another day. Google's actually trying to be pretty competitive with other search engines, and they're trying to manage abuse. The other things we want to pay attention to are there are different businesses, right? If I'm a news business, I'm having content all the time. If I'm a sports team, I'm updating my numbers all the time. Google's trying to get the best results for the best industries, right? There are a lot of ranking factors. And these are just a few, but these are the top ones that come up. Relevance. When I'm searching bottled water, I don't want cows. Relevant searches are really important. Now you're going to hear about YMYL. That's your money, your life. That was an algorithm update called Medic. And your money, your life means that if any business related to your money or your life, like investing or pills you can take, Google only wants the best, most informed and quality businesses showing up at the top. They're scrutinized more, right? Quality backlinks and internal links, which you'll learn about in on-page SEO, play a factor. User experience, things like click-through rate, that's CTR, and time on page. As I said, a lot of maybe new terms, but don't worry because we're going to go over them and over them. You will become really familiar over time. Time on page matters, click-through rates. When somebody gets your little snippet on the search engine results page and clicks on yours over the other people, that's an indication that you're doing the right thing. These are the things we start to pay attention to. EAT is another one. Expertise, authority, and trust. These things are really important, especially for local SEO. We want to show our expertise. How do we do that? We write content where we become an authority. We get reviews. People trust us. They read our reviews. They know we're good. There's a lot of different ranking factors, but I think these are the main ones. Use of images should actually be multimedia, images, video. That's becoming more and more important. Yeah, multimedia and images and social signals. When we do SEO, one of the things all of us often forget is we need to share what we're doing and share it over to social media. When you search on Google, oftentimes if you search your own business, you'll see Facebook show up there and LinkedIn and Twitter. And basically you don't see the content you're posting, but that you have, that a business has those social media platforms. Site structure. This is really important because when it's easy for your user to use your website and they know what they're getting when they get there and they find exactly what they're looking for because your site structure is good, you actually create longer time on page, and longer time on page is a indication to Google as a ranking factor. As you can see, there is a lot of ranking factors and core web vitals. This is more and more important over time. This is how fast does the website load on a phone or on a computer. Core web vitals are technical SEO and a bit of a challenge, no word of a lie, but good to start to get to know because some of it can feel overwhelming. We'll get into that later. Let's talk about what's changing on the search engine results pages. There's something called zero-click attribution. Now, when you go to Google, sometimes you find exactly what you're looking for and you don't have to click. Why? Because as a user, it is better when I find my information without clicking. Do you know the difference between a Mac and a PC? It's the number of clicks that you have to do to get to somewhere. Apple, less clicks too, which is really interesting. Google's taken that on, and now we have things like when we do local SEO, we have a knowledge panel in the right-hand side that tells us about the business and the hours and things. And we'll get into this when we go look at the search engine results pages. Google and other search engines always work for better user experience, right? And better user experience means less clicking. If you search for movies now, you get a rolling index of all the movies, right? You don't even have to go to another website. It's about giving people their information. Now, why is this important? Because if I can get all my information from the search engine results pages and I don't click into a website, I'm getting less visits. How do we manage that? And that's where SEO comes into play. And for local SEO, that's where you focus on the knowledge panel. For e-commerce, you would focus maybe on shopping ads and things like that. And when you set up the shopping ads, you can show up in the organic section. There's lots of things we can do, but we do need to account for the zero-click attribution, and we do need to educate our clients on that. What does it mean for us? It means that we need to know not only what's going on with the search engine results pages, we need to know about algorithms because algorithms tell us what not to do. I worked for a company once that did Google Ads when it was brand new, and they decided to get into SEO, and they bought links from link farms, and link farms became bad because you're not supposed to pay to rank. And if you're buying links, you're paying to rank. That's why people need to be careful when they're hiring an SEO company. And the companies that hire you trust you. And we focus on white hat SEO. There's black, white, and gray. White hat is like I play by the rules. Black hat is I try to break the rules. And gray is it a rule? Sometimes you do have to ask yourself, what is the best thing to do here? We're going to go through some algorithms that have happened to show us the things that are happening and have changed over time. Panda was about duplicate, plagiarized, thin content. Thin content, and you'll learn more about this later, is like less than 300 words on a page or keyword stuffing. Back in the day, say I wanted to rank for, I don't know, baby clothes, and I just wrote baby clothes 100 times on my site. Google's not bad. It's not good user experience. After Panda was Penguin and spammy or irrelevant links. That's the link farming, right? Buying links is bad. That's why you have things like people, I'm sure maybe you've gotten an email saying, oh, I've written some really great content. Can you put it on my site and link back? That is not spammy and irrelevant links. But spammy and irrelevant links are link farms. And we had Hummingbird, which was about low quality content and the keyword stuffing again. And don't worry, there's only 3 pages of these. Then we had Rank Brain. And Rank Brain was really interesting because it was lack of relevance. And we know that Google now, relevance is a huge indicator, right? Shallow, poor content, poor UX. What is UX? User experience. That relates to how your website's set up. Is it easy to navigate? Do people rage click? Tell you more about that later. Okay, couple more. And these are just good to really know. Okay, and the next algorithms are quite fun, if it would do what I want. But there we go. Updates to now. Looks like it has a mind of its own. Medic. Okay, this is why I'm like, this was more recent. These are the more recent algorithms that we want to know about. Medic is lack of authority, anything that can take your money or mess with your life, right? Google did this whole big thing. And what happens when there's an algorithm update? Some websites like, what was it, Dr. Oz, who are in number one, they go to a number 100. People get really upset when there's an algorithm update and it affects you. Why? Because it can ruin your business, right? If you're doing the wrong things. If you're practicing the right things, you should have no problems. BERT is really interesting because that's where AI really has taken hold. BERT was getting rid of bad content, lack of focus. We're seeing more and more of that. So you have affiliate sites who were ranking all the time. Now there's been a algorithm update to address that good quality content with reviews that specifically deal with products are valued more than reviews that don't really say much or haven't had user experience, right? Now, Mum is a better version of BERT. Now, why this matters. Mum is multi-directional. Originally, when we searched, we had it one keyword and Google would bring up all the websites with those keywords. And now Google can understand the words before and the words after that keyword. It makes things better, more powerful, with the ability for AI to understand our language better. Because think of this. When I type in the word picture, what am I looking for on Google? Am I looking for a baseball pitcher? Am I looking for a pitcher of water? Am I looking for a picture frame? This gives context to our searches. And the last ones, passages was a big breakthrough. Passages is really interesting. I'm sure you've seen it when you search something and you get a snippet of text now. And then when you click over to the site, it's highlighted in yellow. That's passages indexing. That was a huge breakthrough last year. And it made us get the snippets of information we needed at our fingertips. It was an incredible breakthrough. Then we have core updates, which happen regularly. Sometimes Google tells us about them. Sometimes Google does not. The last algorithm updates that you need to know, and these are the very most current, March. That was like last month. Product review updates. This is where Google has taken the product reviews that are crappy and they've been downgraded. And now it's about firsthand experience. It's about the truth of product reviews and not just about affiliate sites trying to rank to get people to buy. The very latest update is called Palm. And this is a breakthrough that happened 2 days ago. And it can handle millions of different tasks and learning reasoning. That's crazy. It's called Pathways Language Model, referred to as PaLM. Now, why is this important? Because this changes what happens when we search, right? You saw the passages breakthrough, and now we get content more easily. This should change things. MUM really changed things because that biodirectional and being able to index images, text, and video all at the same time, we started to see things like, it used to be person teaching Thai food was like American, blah, 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 white Anglo-Saxon person. And now you'll see somebody from the little Thailand woman back in the forest who's got a video camera who's teaching you how to make Thai foods. It's really opened up what we can see and where we get our information from, which is brilliant. The internet does bring us all a little closer together. Now that we know things that Google grades us on and it's changing over time, we're going to talk about how Google ranks contents and what they do. The first thing Google does is they crawl the internet. And how do they do that? Through links. In our on-page SEO class, you're going to learn about internal links. It's really important. So they crawl all the web and they index and they follow links and then they index that material. And the index is just filing it like a big filing cabinet. But then they rank it. The first algorithm that they did was PageRank by Page. I forget his first name. But they rank the information. It used to be they would pull the information like, okay, I have this phrase that I put into Google. Now Google brings like all the keywords that phrase was in and they loaded up the content. Now they have algorithms to help rank the information. And now the SERPs. You know that they crawl, they index, and they rank every piece of information that they can find on the web. SERPs are search engine results pages. You are going to hear about search engine results pages now for the rest of your life. Why? Because they are important. What is the SERP? It's the information you get back when you put a query into Google. The query is your keyword string, whatever you're searching for. SERP stands for search engine results pages. It is one of the things we often talk about. There are 20 different types of SERPs now. And we're going to go into Google. We're going to look at a search engine results pages. But I'm going to go through it because imagine in your eyes, behind your eyes, the top menu when you're searching Google, right? If you start looking around, there's a lot of different options. And I actually have found a secret free class from Google about how to become like a super searcher, which don't worry, I will share. But it's the top menu, right? We have image, search engine in there. We have shopping, we have video, we have more, we have tools, and yeah, I gotta figure out which thing to click. We have search featured snippets. These are more and more important now, and we're gonna see some rich snippets, and I'll show you what those are when we get onto the search engine results pages. We have things like recipes and videos and image carousels. It used to be 5 years ago that you didn't have any of that. You literally had the 10 spots on Google for text. Now we got local SEO, we got the map section, we have people also ask section, which is like accordion. The paid ads used to be at the top and the bottom and the side. They're no longer on the side, and these are text ads, right? We have Google My Business, which ends up on the right side of the page, which helps with zero-click attribution. Now we can find the hours of business. People also ask, we have related searches. All these things will help you in your SEO, as funny as that sounds, because if we know what the search engine results pages are doing, we can base what we do on it. Okay, here's an example of local SEO, right? This 3-section that you see all the time that's under the maps when you search is called the snack pack, right? And then when you click on the more places, you end up on the map section, like you actually go into the map, which is Google is developing more and more. Now you can see on these 2 pages, I have a square ad or square image here where I have a link here. Remember, Google's always changing things, always testing things. Now it's your job to start to try to pay attention, right? And we're going to get deeper into the search engine results pages, and we're going to talk about intent. These are local intents. Local intent is when I type something like near me, or I geo-target, which is like typing in SEO Burnaby or something like that. Victoria SEO. Anything with geo-targeting is local SEO. I know this isn't the prettiest picture, and we'll get it updated, but there are 10 results on a page. When I'm talking about meta descriptions, metadata, it's the title, the URL, and the description, right? We do try to give Google this information. We do try to control it. Google has a right to change whatever it wants. Last year, there was big hubbub because Google started changing the titles. You know, you hire an SEO, spend a bunch of money, they do your titles and meta descriptions, and then Google changes your title, thinking basically Google would just show, you can see this is SEO digital marketing agency. You can see because they have the pipe, right? And they're capitalizing things. They've got Nanaimo or capitalizing. You can tell it's been SEO, and don't worry, you'll be able to tell over time. But there are 10 results on a page. When you learn about Google Search Console and position, it's about these 10 listings on a page. Now there's all this other stuff, right? It's harder to figure out where people end up on Google. Snippets are a main component of search, right? The snippet is going to be some of the snippets. There's rich snippets, which we'll get into it, but a main snippet is the title, the URL, and the description, which you will spend time working on. Once you learn keyword research and on-page SEO, you will be doing these. And they're fun. This gives us the ability to it's like our little ad on Google, right? If we get to the first page of Google or the 10th page, that little snippet is our little ad to say, hey, come visit my website. I got the right stuff. I got the information you're looking for. I am clicking. Things to know. Bold, numbers, capitals, right? When you write blog content, it is pretty well known nowadays that if you use numbers that are uneven, get clicked on more. 3 things to help you, blah, blah, blah. We'll get clicked on more than 4 things. When you use special symbols like the @ symbol or the registered trademark or ellipses, those things get clicked on more. We don't realize that we're being influenced when we search, but we are. We're being influenced, and SEOs learn the things that work. And we utilize those things to make our clients get clicked on more. These are things to pay attention to. If you put quotations in your URL or your meta description or your title, it'll actually get truncated. And we know never to put quotations inside our little snippets. Now, what are rich snippets? Well, I'll get back to you on that. Feedback. You want to look at what works to figure out what to do. And we can see that when we try things. One of the strategies for meta descriptions now is to entice people and not just have a really great structured, it's learn more, get your free stuff. There's lots of ways we can try to influence people's behavior. Here's an example of the SERPs and what's going on. So you have the URL, right? We can see digital marketing companies. We can see the title, see 17, right? Digital marketing, they've capitalized the first word. They've actually put when it's updated, which does matter in some industries. Maybe not if you're a lawyer, but if you're a marketer, you might want the most current information. We have the title, and then we have the meta description. Now, there are character limits to either of these. When you see the 3 ellipses down here, it means your content has been truncated. Sometimes people do it on purpose. We offer a wide range of services. Maybe I want to learn more. I have put my location in my title, which means I'm trying to locally rank, right? And you have to think about, why am I going to click on one of these results? Now, one thing to pay attention to is I wrote digital marketing agency, right? If you look here, hard to see, we'll see it on the search engine results pages, but digital marketing agencies, it's bolded, right? Marketing agency, bolded, digital marketing, bolded, agency, bolded. When you do a search, your keywords that you type into Google are bolded in the search engine results page. Why is that? Because you're more likely to click on it. And it's telling you, hey, you searched, this has this. It's really interesting when you get right down to it. Okay, we're going to move away from that, and we're going to talk a little bit about search intent. This is just to get us used to search intent, because I know it's a lot of information, but this is the really fun class. They're all really fun. But search intent, this is just the fundamentals of what we're doing when we search. Reason behind a query. Now, query is a keyword search, right? We type something into Google. But why am I typing something into Google? There's navigational means that I know the business already. I know Seymour Digital Media. I'm just going to type that in. I know they write a blog post every week. I'm going to go read it. I'm navigating to there. Who doesn't just type in Facebook into a URL now, right? Maybe even TikTok. Navigational is basically the business name. I know where I'm going. Informational. 80% of all searches are informational. Informational is top of funnel. We'll talk about that in a minute. But informational is like, how do I do this? Where do I find this? What is the best foot cream? Actually, that's not informational, but it is. Anyway, they are slightly interchangeable. There's no steadfast, but just know informational is top of funnel. It's 80% of all searches, and it's what most of us do. And then there's transactional. Some people go a step further and say there's transactional and there's also before transactional. But it all comes down to transactional. Transactional is I'm going to buy something. I have done all my research and now I'm going to go buy a TV, right? Things like that. Why are these important? Because these help us determine who we're writing for and who we want to come to our website. If I have e-commerce on maybe my category pages, I'm going to use keywords like best or buy or things like that. Those are modifiers to our keyword. We'll get into keywords in a second. Commercial and investigation, that's the fourth one, right? That's when I'm typing in a comparison, compare A to B to make my decisions on purchasing, right? These two are more interchangeable with their keywords. When we're choosing keywords for our web pages, these things we want to take into account. Navigational, when they know my business, those are people that have maybe already bought from me. They're just searching because they trust my content. You're going to focus on different things. With informational, I'm just educating people to help them, giving helpful information that relates to my products. Transactional, I want you to buy, right? These are the big ones, right? Especially for e-commerce or, well, mainly e-commerce. But I put together this. I did share this in the bigger Facebook group, and I will share this in our smaller private group. But I wanted to help you start to understand what's going on here. Informational, right? Information. When I'm searching for information, I'm getting new visitors to my website. I might be concerned with bounce rate. I'll learn about that later. It's going to probably be related to my blog, and I can grow my retargeting list. We got retargeting, Google Ads, right? I'm collecting information. I'm just helping people. Navigational is like lead magnet. You can use that. They already know me. We'll learn about tripwires. It's more of a social thing. We're going to focus on time on page, things like that in Google Analytics. Transactional, that's that core offer. I'm going to buy this thing. Your calls to action are important. You're going to be working off total leads, total sales, like average sale value. When I do SEO for somebody, and if they don't get, I'm measuring how many people come to the website and are they converting. The client's probably measuring like how many things did they buy. We have to work that out between us, right? And then loyalty, they bought, I'm going to retain them. They trust me. And then I retain them. We added this retention little portion here, and that's for targeting, measure, tracking, CRO, conversion rate optimization, a part of SEO and Google Ads, because when I get somebody to my website page, what do I want them to do? So first we work to get them there, then we work to convert them. So that's where email lists come in, repeat buying, and time on page, of course. I love the search engine results page. They really do change a lot of what we're doing. Why I wanted to bring this up, we're seeing some new things. Local service ads. These are going to become more and more important over time. Featured snippets, more and more important over time because of that zero-click attribution. A featured snippet is going to be like the people also ask section that I'll show you them when we get into the search engine results pages. The image pack. Right now we see carousel images. There's so much action on the search engine results pages. Google and Facebook, if you don't know, have a like outstanding rivalry. Think of them as siblings. And when you go over to Facebook, you stay on Facebook, right? When you go to Google, you search, you find, you leave. Google hated that. They're like, why is my little brother getting all this attention? People staying on there because advertisers will spend more money if you're staying somewhere. Google changed what the search engine results pages look like by adding image packs, by adding featured snippets, that deal with zero-click attribution. And before the ads came about, it was just SEO. In-depth articles become more valuable. Right? There's a knowledge cart and a knowledge panel. Yes, two different words. Right? Knowledge panel is what you in the right-hand side of Google. When you search, that's like the business name. You have the local pack, the 3-pack, right? What is a featured snippet? There's a link. Then I'll teach you what a featured snippet is, but we'll get there. And then local teaser pack, news boxes, related questions. There's so much going on the search engine results pages. Reviews are huge. Shopping results, Fail will teach you all about that. Site links are part of rich snippets. Twitter, tweet. Twitter used to show up on the search engine results pages and does get indexed. Twitter and Google have a good relationship most of the time. Video is getting indexed. And if you want to see more examples there is inside the slide deck, if you want to go into all the things, I like to make sure I'm documenting where I get information from. Your homework today is going to be Google Alerts. We're going to do that. But you can go what we talked about today far before we go to the search engine results pages. We talked about Google's job. We talked about algorithms, and we talked about how Google ranks things, right? The crawl, index, and rank. Then we talked about search, SERPs, and the snippets, the URLs, the metas, the titles, and we talked about search intent. Why are all these things important? Because our behavior determines our results. Now I'm going to go over to Google and we're going to go look at some stuff and then we're going to talk. Let's do a search. We're going to do mechanic. Actually, let's do mechanic Richmond.
Richmond, come on, don't do
right? Okay, I love it. We will use your businesses as examples in this course, whether it be we do things on your website with you, for you, or we do things like searching different businesses. I typed in mechanic Richmond. What happened? These are those responses, right? All these are keywords. Mechanic Richmond, BC, and Mechanic Richmond Hill. Like they're all keywords that I could choose to try to rank for. Okay. I can do the voice search. I can click on that and search more. And then it gives me more information. Google's like, you're in Duncan. Why do you want Richmond? Right? Now, look at this result. Over on the right-hand side, we have the map section. Interesting. I can click into the map section. And in here, these are local SEO results. I'm seeing little pins, right? I hover over, they're giving me reviews. Why is this important? What is Google telling me here? Telling me reviews are super important, right? You'll see sometimes the pin will be a different color because they're paid. Sometimes they're not. This is a paid ad. You can see the little ad. Once in a while, Google will change this. It used to have a green around it or a black around it before. Reviews, the stars. I love the stars. Let's go back. Let's take a good look at this page. Things I want you to start to notice are the little things. You'll notice inside all the platforms that we're going to be playing in, there's always extra because these are made by developers and developers like to give you options. We have the all, we have the maps, we have images, news, shopping, and more. All of these are literally their own search engines, right? Maps is more local SEO. Images, different, like an artist, right? They're going to want to rank in the image section, maybe more than, say, I don't know, a retailer. But to show up in all of these is great. News is going to be very current information. This is getting indexed fast. We have the shopping. Now you can show it. Shopping's really interesting after it used to be free. Oh, look at that. It's got local SEO. Oh, that's so cool. That's new for me. Okay. Interesting thing about the shopping is that some of these are paid and these are all paid. Yeah. They're with Google Ads and shopping. These are all working. I don't know if you don't like shopping in Amazon. It's a great place to come shopping. And you can, I usually type in, if I was looking for something, I type in Canada so that the delivery would work for me. Things like that. Okay, but look, we got sort by relevance. We can save it, go to the more section, and we can see all these things, right? Why is this important? Because the more I'm geeky, and I like to say, click around and get down, especially when I'm having a musical day, which means I want to start singing because everything reminds me of a song. But what I want you really to pay attention to is the tools. I love tools. The tools are huge. Okay, tools anytime. If you're doing SEO, Google Ads, anything like that, any marketing thing, definitely one of the most current information, right? Past year, past month, past hours a little bit, like Google has trouble indexing these things. But say you're developing your own YouTube channel, yeah? I would go to past month and look in the, where's the video section? Usually there's the images, maybe it'll have video. So other, oh, look, gift, you want to just click around, get more into it. I change my search often to past month, past year, especially for SEO stuff. The interesting thing with the user rights Creative Commons license, if I'm searching images, If I come over to the image section and I want to find an image I'm allowed to, I can do deeper searches. I don't know how often y'all go into these things and look for things, but there's just so much beautiful information. You can actually, there's a search engine. I think it's Scholarly. If I could write it, Scholarly Articles. Google indexes just scholarly articles, right? You have to search for it, but that's in that special I'm a power searcher class. Let's keep looking at this. So we have these 3 dots now. Always look for the 3 dots. 3 dots are going to tell us this is new, beta, right? It's in the last year. Google's trying to give us relevant information and saying, hey, this is relevant. Yelp is like an index of other businesses. Google doesn't like that. Google is the index. Right? Yelp usually gets shoved down to the bottom eventually because it's great. 10 best auto repair places. Some people do click into it. Some people find their mechanic that way. Look like there are no ads right here. People are doing local ads we saw. So here's the snack pack, right? And we got website directions. Local searches, what is it? 70% of people, maybe 46 to 70% of people will do a local search. And within 48 hours, they will visit the business. Really important. Rich snippets, I'm not seeing any, but like the stars are rich snippet stuff. Okay, if I click in here, I'm going into the map section, local SEO. We already checked that out. Let's scroll down. This doesn't give me, when I'm searching for mechanic Richmond, what does Google think I want? Well, they think I want to see the best repair shops. Maybe I'm looking for repair. There is 878, what is that? 8,720,000 results in 53 seconds. Brilliant. We see the 3 dots. We're seeing the source of the material. Interesting things, and we'll do this more, but let's just click on one. It takes us to the maps, right?
All right, Pip, can you tell me what that stat was again?
What? Which stat?
When they visit 48%, did you say 48% of the time?
Yeah, 48% of the time within 72 hours, they're visiting the business. I can get you the stat actually for that. When I click on the result, if I scroll to the bottom, see this? Feedback. I could be like, well, I don't think that's the right business name. Is this business closed? Google's always looking for us to help. I don't know if any of you are a local, like when you leave a review, you get points being a local guide. Let's do this. Hold on. Marketing, of course. Okay, I got ads. I got 4 million. Nope, those are a lot of results. I got ads. Look at this. This is a lead. This is an extension in an ad called the lead form. Oh, look, there I am. Maybe I wanted to see myself. I do provide digital courses. I did type in digital course, and is it highlighted? Oh, look at that. It is, right? What does Google think so important? It's showing I manage this business. That's what that little blue star is kind of new, right? And these ones are saying these provide that information. I can do websites. Let's keep scrolling. I got the map section again. Google's thinking I'm looking for something local. Maybe I'm looking for schools. These guys are top of the search engine results pages for regular SEO. Not necessarily local, but they could be local too. Then I have the people also ask. Now this is an accordion. As I click on a result that I want, so, which is the best for digital marketing, click down, watch what happens. I get more results. Every time I click one, it adds more. So how hard is digital marketing? And then I get how much do digital marketers earn, right? All these are keywords. This is a keyword. Maybe it's a keyword you want to just focus on, and that's what you're writing your content on. Maybe it's a question you want to answer in your content because people are asking, right? Then you got the 3 dots. There is a lot that happens here. When we look at this as rich snippets, right? You'll mostly see these in the ads, right? These kind of things. Rich snippets become more and more prevalent, right? I can click right into the page that Google thinks might be relevant. Can you control these things? Can I control, say this was organic? Can I control what Google's showing as my important pages? Not necessarily. Maybe if I do something called schema, which we talk about in the 3rd section of our course. As we keep scrolling down, This is a place where we can look for keywords. We can find keywords. When I actually click onto a page and I scroll around and get down for a couple minutes, we'll see if it works. Sit and I wait around and I click the back button. That's a bounce. It'll open up and show me people also search for all of these. Now, the funny thing about all these is you will find this information here. They're the same, right? But look, Google's showing me that these are other searches. This is a carousel, image carousel. You can see more, right? I can click down and see more. There's no video on this page. If I'm doing courses, say I want to rank for this keyword, I could do ads. Seems a little competitive. Definitely people are looking for local businesses to work in. Not seeing any videos show up on the page. I am seeing some images. I would do this search a number of other times. I would look around more. I would change my search, like past years, what I would do first, and I'd see who's ranking. What are they doing? Oh, look, digital marketing course, digital marketing. They have it double time. Is that keyword stuffing? Well, yes, it is. Should you do it? No. Okay. Oh, but video showing up. Is video important? Maybe. We definitely want to pay attention to the search engine results pages with everything we do. Here's a rich snippet. This is telling us that the course has 4.5 star, 4.7, and they have 3,000 reviews, and the average cost is. So this is great information. I don't even have to click in. Maybe I know I want to buy, which I'd probably click in, and it's got the date. Now we will learn a lot more about the search engine results pages as things continue on. Wasn't that fun? Do you have questions?
I have lots of questions.
Oh, yay! Love lots of questions.
But yeah, I have to put my, do you want my video back on?
Yeah, come on.
Yes, I'll have to
Go later. Join me.
take my camera off. Sorry. Okay, it's cool.
Lot of
That was excellent. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Amazing. I've got everything going. Thank you. But I do have lots of questions. So my first one is when you put in the search and it comes up as bold because you use that word on your website. When you're bolding the website, should we be putting it in bold so that Google will know you put that in bold, that's the keyword?
Oh, that's a very good question. It was noted less than 6 months ago. Now you'll be going to websites and you'll see bolded information in the website. Because John Mueller, who is one of Google's representatives who comes on and talks, says that bolded information does make a difference now. Now SEOs are bolding it. Don't do it. Don't do it yet.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily matter if, so why do we use bold in our language online? We use it, so if it deserves accentuation, then great. If it's to just kind of stuff that keyword in that, would I try it? Definitely. Have I tried it? Yes. Should I recommend it? Maybe not all the time, because if I'm bolding out, like, we always have to think with SEO, it's about the user. Does that benefit the user? If it benefits the user, go hog wild. If it doesn't though, so when I'm reading an article, if like too many things are bolded, I have trouble reading it. I don't know how y'all feel, but so I would do a comparison on pages. Try it.
That's great. Thank you. Then the next one is to rank for investigation search queries. So comparing yourself to a different business, or if people are going to do that as a search, should you use the word compare so that it comes up, or what's the word that you should use so that you will rank for comparative investigation search queries?
Interesting. So investigative, meaning like I'm comparing objects, sometimes compare or
For comparing businesses.
yeah, sometimes you'll see in the Google search engine, in the search console, we worked on a gentleman's website and he had verses. He was a developer of sorts. It was really hard language that was used, but it was a like this versus this I saw. And that, so that when we see content in our Google search console, like when we see terms, that's the terminology we probably want to put on our website. But yeah, people type in versus, they type in compare. One thing people don't type, testimonials. Who types in No, everybody types in reviews, which is really funny because everybody uses
My God, that's hilarious. I never thought of that before. But it's true. Everybody puts testimonials as a category heading, and then everybody oh, that's brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. It's really funny. The little tiny things can make all the difference.
One other thing,
Great.
I was just going to build off of what you were asking there, and I was just going to say there's a big debate in the content marketing space about whether you should have a versus and it's on your own website and you're comparing yourself. The classic one is like SaaS products using Trello over ClickUp, like these two like products, and it's on ClickUp's website. And Google has officially said through John Mueller that they don't do that. They don't like that because you're obviously going to compare yourself more favorably, but everyone does it. Everyone ranks for it. Everyone keeps doing it. It's one of those ones that they always say, oh, don't do this. We don't really take that into consideration. But then at the end of the day, everyone does it and everyone still does rank for it. And it's
Example though, say I'm a digital marketer and I use some software, ClickUp, and my coworker colleague uses Asana or Trello, and I write a comparison article on those things. But I'm an affiliate for ClickUp. Will I talk more favorably about ClickUp? It's very interesting because we are all subject to biased, or writing might be biased.
So when you're writing for your own business, it might be, if I'm understanding correctly, a good idea to use words like how we compare to our competitors,
Yeah.
versus our communities, that sort of thing.
Or if, like, for me, a great article would be why Yellow Pages sucks. It is quite interesting what we can do online with our business. But the whole idea is we always need to be thinking about our user and what is the best information for them. What's going to help them the most.
Yeah. And especially for you guys, because you're a school, one thing what you guys would be doing is like doing your unique selling propositions of, oh, we offer these things. It's not even necessarily you're comparing yourself against a school, but it's what is making you different than another school. It's like in a traditional school, we would be doing, I don't know, like 4 hours a day and there'd be no practical time. Here, we're spending hours a day and we're doing practicum time from the like 6 hours. I'm totally spitballing this, but that idea of you're not like focusing on what makes you special or makes you different from everyone else is, I think,
the boxes. You know how they do the comparison? Like it's an image and it's usually like a comparison of you get this many things and this many things and this many things. People love that. So you could do a comparison, right? I wouldn't name necessarily your competitor.
Yeah.
Right? I was with comparison, like
Others.
end of the thing.
Yeah. Others.
What? To compare this my question without saying the name. Thank you. Can I keep asking questions? I have a few more.
Yeah.
So our business comes up in as our new Westminster location, but we actually have two schools, and the other one is in Victoria. And how do we get it indexed, the two different schools in the two different locations? Do I need to create two different Google My Business pages, or do I have to have two different websites, or what would I have to do to make it separate?
That's a good question. I would, number one, create two different Google My Businesses.
Okay.
And I would work on getting reviews for the second business. Always hard because the first business might show up over. I would also, I don't know if I do like a satellite site. There's many options to try to grow. Having a separate page, see our Victoria location, writing about Victoria, why you have a location there. Having a second site, you have to be careful about that stuff. There's a lot of options. First and foremost, Google My Business, right? You're looking for local people or in Victoria. Thing is, people do travel between Victoria and Vancouver, and you will see one of the most irritating things in Google Ads is that you can't target Vancouver Island only. You can target all of BC, you can target Vancouver, you can target Victoria, but you can't target you can kind of, but you can't just type in Vancouver Island. It doesn't show up on the maps.
Oh, that's really interesting. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would also say off of that is that definitely 100% Google My Business listing. Like that's just you're going to need that. What I would do when you go, I would start with probably make a page that's like your URL/Victoria campus, and then talk about has the location on it. It has like their phone number for the place, all the kind of NAP stuff that you're going to want to have in their name, address, phone number. Have all that on there. Have the hours, mention the school, and then when you set up the Google My Business, put that like sub page as the URL. Like even Google can understand, oh, okay, this is their sub page. And then if you guys need to like build its own robust website, like you could make it a subdomain like Victoria dot and then West Coast Massage School.com. And then you could just make a subdomain off of that.
And actually, when you make your Google My Business, second one, you get one link from Google My Business to your website, like the main link.
Too. We have the appointment link as well.
You know, I'm saying the main link, like when it says
Okay.
website, right?
All right, fair game.
Is you take the new page of your website and use that page. Let me just give you an example so you can know what I mean quickly. Okay,
Because at the moment we've got two separate websites.
that's a lot of
Victoria, but we actually redesigning the website and bringing it all into one website. This is going to be a big fun.
How is it not showing up my map section? What am I want?
Maybe click on the maps at the top.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to. My knowledge panel is supposed to show up. I'm not
We
sure.
have a better business bureau.
Oh, do I? Aren't I lucky? That works. Let's see if the map section. Okay, Google's messing. Damn it! What is other?
New carpet cleaning near me.
Okay.
Or yeah.
Okay. Did Bike Shop Duncan? I need
Still
a
won't
Royal.
near me.
Royal Bay. Okay. Usually the bloody hell, I can't show you.
You must be putting in your tools, isn't it? Like you said, a speaking there.
Maybe. I'll do it. First, let's try. Let's see. Here we go. This link here.
Okay.
This would be, you can determine what page people land on that link, right? You could actually pick a different landing page, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Okay, right there. Thank you so much.
But 100% set up that Google My Business for the second location.
And then my next question is, you touched on Creative Commons images. Are we allowed to use images on Creative Commons on business website?
Rena, would you like to answer that for the audience who knows that you've
Yes,
struggled?
I would. Yes, I would. That's a super important thing. You have to check the licensing on the Creative Commons. If it does say for that you can use it for commercial use, then you are allowed to use it. There may be restrictions, like attribution might be required as part of the license agreement. And if that is the case, then you absolutely need to have that. I just have some recent experience, and then there's been some further away experience. You absolutely need to have that. I cannot stress that enough. What you want to look for is, I like Pixabay because they offer up photos without attribution requirements. On the other hand, I just wanted to point out that these are people that are putting up photos to use. These are professional photographers. And when they have a buy me a coffee, I always buy them a coffee because we're utilizing something for free. That's something some creative person has produced. That's just my thoughts on that particular subject, but I want to make sure that people get paid for their work too. So, yeah.
You click on the image and then like will it come up, or how do you check that?
Yeah. Oh, do you want to see how to do that kind of search? Is that what you mean? Pip, do you want to show that, or do you want me to share my screen and show that?
You show it.
Okay.
It's all about sharing. In the comments, I did give you on our website, we do have free image websites. I have a list of 50 plus websites to find images on.
What kind of
use commercially without paying for them?
Yeah. You got to read the Creative Commons, usually on the website, and that'll tell you what you need to do. I think there's 4 varieties.
Okay, I'm just choosing a search term that I think might be relevant for what I've just heard you talk about. You go into images here.
Okay.
and then you go into tools, and then there's usage rights, and then you hit Creative Commons license. Creative Commons will give you everything that people put up under Creative Commons, but I honestly look for things that are under Commons Wikimedia because I know for sure a lot of people put stuff up on Flickr without realizing that they've opened it up to Creative Commons, and you also get some really shitty poor quality of images. I'm trying to change my words. Poor quality, poor lighting, and all that stuff. The other way to do it is to take a look here. You'll start to notice that some of these are, what do you call them? Stock photography. Then what I do is you go to the image and it says re-images here. And then you look and it says here, no attribution required, free for personal and commercial use. And just to clarify that if your blog is attached to your commercial website, whether or not you're making money off of that blog directly, you're still a commercial entity. That's the other piece of information that's necessary.
Like this, I would be able to download and use it on the website without a
Yes.
And how do you, that if it got fast, does there need to be like a menu of where the images were taken from? Like if
I loosely keep track based on, I create accounts in these places and then I have a download record. I would personally, because you want to be able to prove that, but generally you can also do a reverse image search to find your source, your original source. But that depends on whether or not the website is going to exist 5 years down the line or whenever it is that they come calling. That's just what I know about it. I like to use the proper sites, not Flickr. Flickr is in fact, there are people that are operating on Flickr trying to confuse people, and they only make money on what they call retroactive licenses. There's no fine, but the fine will be less than what it costs for an hour with your lawyer, but it'll be quite a lot. It's usually around between $600 and $900, the retroactive licenses. That's why I'm saying you need to really if that's a big amount. Yeah, exactly. Make sure you've got it right, because that can really ruin your day.
Yeah, they're a huge thing with SEO and online. Rita, I'm going to share my screen for a sec. So we are actually going to do a whole class on image SEO. But if you go into type in Google Images here, right? You can go over here, but type in Google Images and you get this. And you can, I was talking about the reverse search. You can upload an image here and then get information on it. You can paste the image URL. Images are it's its own beast. Inside Google Search Console, you'll actually see web information, image information, now video information too. But other things to note, Google My Business, never post a stock image. Just change it, add a date, add a flying butterfly, add something. But there's many free sites that they're Creative Commons, like Rita, you said you use a
Pixabay?
Pixabay. I use, it starts with an
S. What's it called? Splashed.
There's another one I posted in there that's called Openverse, which is set up by Atomic, and those are all unattributed Creative Commons, and they're the people that set up WordPress.
Excuse me. Can
What?
you put that on our blog post? I'm like, that'd be good content in there. You should add that.
Oh, yeah.
More digital.
And then I know this is really cheaper than meets per Would you, I'm hoping that one of you might have a contract, like when you take a photograph of somebody and you want to use it on your website, should you get them to sign something that says they've given you their permission
Yes.
to use
Yeah.
it? It's on a website, and if you have a contract that you could share with me to use as a template.
Rena, do you have a contract?
I do. I have a model release form. You require them for people and you require them for houses.
We also, in our terms and conditions on our contracts, we actually have a media release, and we do that with all our clients. We can share the information. You are technically not allowed to capture the content of your reviews that people have written on Google and put them on your website because you don't have permission. Everybody does it.
But you can do it through a plugin though, because you're not actually taking the content and putting it on your website. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's technically using the API. It's not technically you taking it and then reusing it. It's you're accessing the API that they've given, that is part of the licensing agreement that says it's
Right.
okay.
But you couldn't screen cap it and put it out on social? Is that can you make another image with different font and different everything, but just state what somebody said on? Is that allowed?
If you link back to the source then there's not a problem. Nobody ever does anything about this.
Okay.
So,
Just curious.
yeah.
I
it-
didn't
Yeah,
know
it's one of those ones I can't tell you that that's okay.
that. Okay.
That's
uh,
an other
Great
thing
slip.
that-
That's in the gray area. Is that a rule?
yeah,
because you're a school, in the contracts they sign when they come on board, it should be in there. There should be a media release in there.
There's not. That's, I'm just not allowed to take photographs, and I really want to use photographs. Then I want to take photographs and use it on a new website. But I need to understand what I need to do to be allowed to do that.
You should do it. People buy from people, not from businesses, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
legally speaking, the person that takes the photograph owns the copyright. However, you do need a model release. They couldn't use your photos anywhere else. That's one thing. But technically, you do need a model release if you're going to use it for marketing purposes.
Would it be okay if I email Irina and ask you to share your model or form with me?
Yeah, she offered it up already.
Thank you.
I'll find.
That answers all my questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other questions? I do this thing where you will hear me do the what is it? What is that game show? Jeopardy. I'll start doing the Jeopardy song. Even if questions come up later, know that on Tuesday we meet. You can come ask your questions. You can post your questions in the group. Send them to me privately. We are your team now. That means that whenever you have a question that you need an answer to, we are here to help you answer them. And just know there is one phrase in SEO that we will be using a lot, and that is, it depends. Because it's never really an always yes or always no. It's a lot of, we're going to have a lot of fun. That's my favorite class because I think it's the aha moment that people get when they realize they're actually really good at searching and they just didn't know it.
It just made me think of one question as they can.
Oh, good.
When you showed us how to see in search what other people are using, like questions that people have asked and like what other companies are using, should you copy them?
It depends. Yes and no. Depends for what. I often use the search engine results pages to find the keyword I want to use. And it can be a question. On most websites, they'll have an FAQ section. Technically, a lot of those people have gone to Google or saved the responses from their customers. The more authentic or the questions for every business owner, you should have a piece of paper and pen at your wherever you take information. Question should be, how did you find us? Do you remember what you searched? And every question they ask you, write down and you put it on your website, because your aim is to have people buy from you before they even meet you. They buy, not actually purchase, but they, in their head, they want to work with you. Because they've gotten to know you. And how do you show expertise and authority and trust? You answer questions that they're thinking, right?
Why we should keep a question and answer page on your website as well, right?
Yes, I don't have one, but I do have it on certain pages. We all work on what we have and how we can improve. But FAQs are huge because that solves a lot of problems people have. And if you can solve somebody's problem, they're going to definitely come back to you. Yeah.
The other thing I would say off of that as well is check out the questions, because sometimes the Google finds the best suited answer to that question, and sometimes that answer is wrong or just doesn't fully answer the question. It gives you a good opportunity to come in there and answer it better and make it.
Yeah. And that's a rich snippet. When you click on one more second. When you have people also ask is huge, right? We'll do this again. Go down to the people also ask. It's totally there. Yes. Okay. When you look down here, right? This is part of the rich snippets now, because I'm going to get all my information from here. I can see more items. That'll take me into the site, and this will also take me into the site. What if it's not relevant? That's in 2022, 1 month ago. Okay, fine. But there's a lot of, because you can give feedback on all the results, individual results. This one, 2021, is it still relevant? Digital marketing easy. 2020. Oh, wow. It's very up to date. I'm impressed. Sometimes I put Pardon?
How do you influence your rich snapper? Like, how do you make it? Where do you put it that Google shows?
Oh, interesting.
We will go into it more when we do the on-page SEO, but there's basically a couple of different sets. Sorry to jump in there, Pip. But basically, there's ways that you format the HTML that will provide Google. That's how Google goes through, and it's how you use things. So if it's, say you're ranking like top Spider-Man movies, and then you do, then it will be a numbered list because they're expecting it in a number. If it's things to watch out, no, signs of a heart attack, and then that will be an unordered. It's just going to be the bullet points. And also, if you have a question, what you do is you make it an H3 or an H2 tag, not the H1, because that's the main title of the page. You're going to have it be a question. And then right after that is the answer to the question. What makes a really good bread? It's like, and then the answer is like leaving it for the appropriate time and kneading it properly. Like, just it's you're asking the question, and that's the big header, and then the answer is in the regular paragraph right after.
Like structured data going up more into.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you see a rich snippet that's old or irrelevant, then you know you could beat that by writing good content.
And
And
your question and answer page
yeah, on any page.
Yeah.
would be great. Okay.
And this was super fun. Okay. Tuesday we meet for Q&A. It's going to be same. We're here. If you don't have any questions, no obligation to come. It is recorded. It will be put on Zoom. We will put this on Zoom. I do have a couple extra little things for you all. One of them I'm just going to show you quickly before we go. Okay. Oh, I have. It is a little guide. It is a SERP guide. For some reason, I closed out of my handy dandy project management systems. I'll give them one fair fine second. And okay. And it'll look like this. Yeah. And it is in my. I have the key terms if you want them that look like this. They're very boring and plain. If it'll open, we can just open it. And I'll put these up. These are just for review, and they go over all the terms we went through today. And then there's also, finally open. Then there's also, this. I know the anticipation is wild. And it looks like this. If you want to just get more information, it'll just give you what we went through. It'll go through a couple extra things, talk a little bit more about featured snippets. People also ask. All those things will be on Kajabi for you, and you can download, and that's it.
It was really cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too.
Joan is trying to ask if there's a homework and if you can actually place it on Facebook afterwards.
I will. Great question. What's going to happen? I'm going to probably do a live in the next day, and there's going to be two things we're going to practice, and we'll practice them next Wednesday, but you can do them on your own. We're going to set up a Google alert, and we're going to clear our browser history, and we're going to search incognito. There will be videos up on the Facebook group in the next day or two about doing those things. You can practice them on your own, or you could just come to the co-working hours and practice them with us. Yeah, that's the homework. Super fun. And there's also a free course that I did mention today, which teaches you to be an extremely power searcher. If you want to get into that, it's fun if you're geeky. But over time, you will learn how to do a lot of the things that are in there anyway. But it just goes into more depth about how to search on Google.
Where are you going to put that?
I'm going to put that in the Facebook group.
Please. Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions? I'm a fast talker. That's it. We are out of time. And I want to sing out of time and out of touch. Because it's a musical day. I know, it's strange. But anyway, I'm going to go and sing over there. If you have questions or you need me, just reach out and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, it's World Health Day. Stay safe, everyone. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lay. You too. And we'll see you soon.
Bye bye.